Oh, thank you for the thumbs up this time. Greetings.
Hello.
Now I'm fucking mad. Welcome back to Morbid Mondays, your unhinged source for what the fuck moments throughout all of history, where we will take turns giving you a weekly tour through all of the gross, gory, and downright moments in history. We're your hosts. I'm Katie.
I'm Brian.
All right, let's get the fuck into this, shall we?
You were like halfway through it.
Oh yeah, I was
like,
ready to
stop.
power the fuck through. I was gonna go. Took me like 5 minutes to find it in this notebook. You'd think at this point I would just put a sticky tab on it so I could just open to it.
I actually pulled mine out so it would just be like there.
Yeah, I don't trust myself to
You
keep
lose
hold
it.
of it. Bingo.
Yeah.
It's like you know me or something.
Yeah.
All right, so we just did the pre-show and we were all over the fuck place with that,
Yeah.
which is like pretty standard for us,
Yeah.
just in general conversation. Oh, my husband. Good job. Sorry, he texted me. And we spoke briefly on like the boldness of coffee and energy drinks, right? Like talking about the caffeine and whatnot.
Yeah. I love it. I'm a big fan of drugs.
Same.
Caffeine.
Honestly, same.
Yeah.
And caffeine's one of those drugs that's just like designed to make you work better.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like your whole body is like, yes, vasodilator. Yes, please.
Right. You don't feel sleepy.
Yeah.
At least that's what it does.
Well, for normal people, those of us with ADHD, we have to drink copious amounts of it.
Yeah.
To overcome the nap time that comes from it. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. That's for sure. So, what if I told you that energy drinks aren't a new thing?
I would believe you, because I can think of a few off the top of my head that are energy drink adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is comes from the Middle East, which is kind of a Gatorade type thing.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's a vinegar and like oil mix that's like electrolytes and such.
Mm-hmm.
There is the original energy drink of South America, which is chewing on coca leaves.
Oh,
which
Jesus.
is not cocaine.
No,
but it does cure altitude sickness. And that's found by a guy that was exiled from his town and was starving and started eating stuff.
And actually, fun fact, hot chocolate,
yeah,
as we would recognize it, is very, very, very old and was originally.
Yeah, it's King Montezuma II, or at least we call him Montezuma II, drank copious amounts of it.
It's fucking crazy, right?
He was fucking
it was like a medicinal compound then, like it was a health drink.
Had chili powder and all kinds of shit.
Fucking crazy. Well, anyway, as fun as all of those facts are, that is absolutely not where I was going with this. So
nice, okay.
No. Well, it tracks because it's in the same vein, but I'm. Let me rephrase. So you remember one of my original TikToks was the Radium Girls, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like the 1920s through into the 30s, like all of the bullshit, like after Marie Curie discovered uranium and radium and all of the glowing radioactive gonna kill you-ness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a name and you're gonna immediately cringe. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Radithor.
Yeah, I fought him in a D&D campaign one time. Pretty sure he was a red wizard.
That was a marketed energy drink.
Is this like fucking Nuka-Cola?
Kinda.
Rad is in radium?
Yep. Are you ready for this?
And thorium.
Well, I don't think there was thorium involved.
Okay,
I think it was just a fun way to finish out the word.
Yeah, I was like, that would 100% kill you.
No. So, in the late 20s and early 30s of the 1900s, that's how recent this was, there was this radium craze that happened. Sure. And I'm sure that at least some of our listeners, and I know you for sure, are familiar with the Radium Girls.
Yeah.
Like what did they call them? The Shining Girls? Ghost Girls?
Yeah, they were.
They had a whole bunch of really like cute, fun nicknames until they started dying.
Yeah, for people who were painting glow in the dark watch hands.
Correct. Good job.
And licking the tips of
they were
the
pointing the brush with their lips and teeth. And that is how they were ingesting lethal amounts of radium.
Yeah.
So,
terrible.
Here's a story that happened parallel to this that I had no idea about until my partner brought it to me on Thursday.
Which definitely caused, because I'm like looking into your eyes and you're like, wow, like 100% you went down a rabbit hole.
I did. You should, I'll show you all the tabs open on my fucking laptop and my Chromebook because it's insane.
I want you to know that, like, as a person who consumes copious amounts of strange, maybe phosphorescent green energy drinks, you mentioning earliest energy drinks and then something called Radithor,
I know,
scares the shit out of me.
I know. And the wildest thing to me, like, I get that we as a society and a generation now have grown up outside and far the fuck away from the discovery and invention of these things. But I cannot fathom how these people thought that ingesting a radioactive substance was any kind of good for you.
I mean, I guess if you've read a lot of comic books, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I am not the one to be a fucking superhero ever.
So where are we going with this? Because
Okay.
I'm like, because who the fuck is eating? That's crazy. All right, let's go.
So in the 20s, it was the Radium Girls that get a lot of media about this because, like, it was part of the breakthrough case of companies lying to their employees about telling people that, you know, this substance that we're telling you to, we're not telling you to ingest it orally, but it is inevitable that you will because of how we are training you to paint these very fine details and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, the Radium Girls is how we got OSHA and, like, you know, all sorts of laws around this stuff. But what got me is how hard they had to fight for it, given all of the evidence and, like, especially once the corporate cover-up was exposed.
Fuck yeah. That's always a thing, though, is it's like, well, we didn't tell you to leak the brushes. But like you said, it's like impossible to do the job unless you're constantly wetting the brushes. And so, like, and you can't wet them in water because then it dips with the oil on the brush itself, which is what holds it to that point, so you can paint those fine details for watches, right,
plane dials, trains. Like there was this with the discovery and the discovery of radium 226 and radium 228 specifically, which were the ones that glowed. There was this insane fad to use it on and with everything.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it was the new thing.
Yeah, it was like space age. It's like
kind of like Seven Brew right now.
Oh yeah, it's the new thing in town. Everybody's freaking out.
Everybody's
lining
losing
up
their
for,
shit
for
over
regular ass coffee. All right, cool.
So, between 1920 and 1939, there were over 112 confirmed deaths because of, like, the radium paint, basically, and, like, that's a thing. And there are multiple movies on the Radium Girls that you can watch, and I highly suggest you do. And because I've covered the Radium Girls before, like I did an entire segment on them that weirdly got popular at my job at the time.
Yeah,
that was weird. My TikTok crossing over into, like, real life was weird. Like, my boss coming up to me like, so that's how we got OSHA? And I'm like, whoa, I am uncomfortable with the fact that you have seen me in a corset. That's a real conversation.
Yeah.
That happened.
It's
like
weird being on the
7
internet.
7 a.m. Anyway, so Radithor. What the fuck and why the fuck?
Yes.
Happens with, okay, let me give you a little bit of context beyond what I've given you about, like, how radium is, like, the fad element at the moment, because it's there are multiple movies on Marie Curie. Please go watch them. They're amazing, especially the most recent one. But they're what you don't get a whole lot of are, like, the conmen and snake oil salesmen. And let me introduce you to someone named William Bailey. William J.
Yikes.
Bailey.
Yeah,
Enter.
it's just normal of a
Stage
name.
left.
You know?
He is one hell of a known con man, a Harvard dropout, which tells you that he was intelligent enough to get into Harvard, but either too lazy to hack it or just said, fuck this.
Yeah, or too successful as a con man to care.
I think it's that second one, because this man, I don't know how in his incredible con man career, spanning from like 1915 all the way to like 1930. 1932 is when he was essentially booted out of business. So in that expansive career of conning people, this man was only arrested twice.
Damn.
Arrested twice, and he was fined once.
So he wasn't even really caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
It's insane.
Because fine does not mean jailed.
I know.
So,
it just means that bad.
Yeah.
Slap on the
you
wrist.
broke some kind of ordinance that says that this is bad business or something.
So he'd been arrested twice, fined once, and this homeboy con job here, to borrow a name from Constantine, would go on to found Bailey's Laboratories, which is where he decided that he was going to be the entrepreneur of radium bullshit.
Okay.
Radium at this point is the fad thing, right? Like it's everywhere. And when I tell you that radium found its way into everything, I mean it. Hair creams, toothpastes, yeah, cosmetics, and thanks to our boy Mr. Bailey over here, Bill, a couple of interesting devices. One was called a radiochronometer. Oh my god, I cannot read my own handwriting. It was a thing that held a little pellet of radium against your scrotum, and it was supposed to increase both virility and fertility.
Not do that.
No.
You know what's crazy is that like the Nazis knew it wouldn't do. Well, this is in the 1920s.
Correct.
So we haven't even gotten there yet. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, it will make you sterile.
Yeah. And he was productively, actively, successfully selling all of these things. Like there were suppositories.
Great way to not have a prostate anymore. That's
yeah.
Yikes.
And
or have a giant prostate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And his most successful invention was Radithor, which was a tiny vial about this big.
A little glass vial?
A little glass vial. And the little glass vial goes into the gun like a battery. I will do all of Zydrate.
Oh, man.
Test me.
Oh, man.
It was a tiny glass vial with about an ounce of fluid in it that carried he claimed. And he set an award. Like if you can prove that this has less than 2
grams
unit of measurement of not uranium. I was
just like, holy shit.
Of radium in it, I will pay you $100. And no one ever could disprove it because all of these vials had at least 1.5 to 2 microcuries of radium in them.
Okay, so we're talking about very small amounts.
Yeah, it's tiny. And like I wrote down a whole mess. Okay.
Yeah, because how much is a micro?
I know. It's insane. Because I went through and did like all of because there's so many ways to measure this element. And like none of them are 1-to-1 or 1-to-1.5. Like they're all math equations.
Yeah. Because you're talking about extremely small amounts of something that does not behave normally in the sense that like it's not going to be like simple solution math.
It's radium.
Right, yeah.
Well, I've got a fun one for you because I got real sick and fucking tired of all of this fucking math later on in this.
Yeah.
Because I know that you spoke to You spoke to my other half about having done the math.
Yeah,
for
he
this.
said it was like it was hard to measure, and there was like 7 steps because
Yes.
of all the weird measurement systems.
And Americans will use anything but the metric system. Did you know
Yeah.
there's a unit of measurement called a giraffe?
Does it measure neck length?
It measures like the length of like the size of a giraffe in distance.
Okay.
I know. That was part of the rabbit hole that we went down because we were trying to figure out like how can I convert this into something that is a little more understandable beyond microcuries and the D measurement word that I can look at and not read
Yeah.
because dyslexic and there's like a little too many letters that look the same right beside each other, like
Yeah.
E's and C's. Also dyslexic for anyone that didn't know. Anyway, so yeah, he was selling irradiated water as an energy drink.
Wow.
Yep.
Under the, I'm sure, marketing understanding that this molecule contains more energy than like anything else.
Liquid sunshine.
Liquid sunshine.
Enough energy to wake the dead.
It will not do that. It will help them decompose really fast.
Yeah. So we, as a general society, know that radiation is bad for you, with the exception of the very small doses that you get when you get an X-ray.
Yeah.
And even then, they won't X-ray you too many times in a row.
Right. And they also stand outside of the room.
And
or
they give
behind
you a lead
wall.
shield on
Yeah.
what they're not X-raying. Yeah. So we know that. Also, did you know that they had portable X-rays in World War I?
Yes.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, that is super dope.
That was
lot of great medical science out of World War One. Before World War One, they could not set a femur.
I didn't know that.
Like, not on the battlefield.
Oh, no, yeah.
But they had a stretcher for your bones, the medic, because if like you broke a large bone
Mhm.
In your body, the rest
And the
of your
femur
muscles,
is the largest.
yeah, but your muscles will pull it, right? Like, and it will start piercing things. So they had an issue for a long time. If you broke your femur, they would have to cut your leg off because there was no way for them to have it heal
Yeah,
properly.
they can't stretch you back out.
Yeah, if it got like snapped in half.
Like it will heal in a compound.
So they built a brace that stretches your leg out.
Ow.
It hurts, but it saves your leg.
Saves the leg.
And it saves your life, usually.
All right, so introduced in 1918, Radithor was advertised as a panacea. Now, for those that don't have that particular word in their vocabulary, that is a cure-all.
Yeah.
That is what
Miracle drug.
what was it in Harry Potter? Bezor.
Oh, yeah, right, because they were just looking for another word that meant, like, this will cure anything.
It was advertised as a literal cure-all
Yeah.
for everything. Low energy, fertility, libido.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
No, it was like
hair loss.
one stop below the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Wild. The fact that was used as a hair cream is doubly funny to me because it's like the first thing that happened.
I know.
Put it on your teeth and hair. That'll, okay, yeah.
See you in 2 years.
Yeah.
So our shockingly clever con man, Mr. Bailey here, started kicking out products left and right, and Radithor became his like bestseller. And then he decided that he was going to embark on a shockingly illegal scheme now, in which he partnered with several doctors for a kickback.
God damn it.
Every time they would prescribe Radithor, they would get like 6% of the profit from the prescription.
Yes.
And now we all understand that money has changed due to inflation. Like this is a time period. This is 1918, 1920, 1930, where like newspapers were 10 cents.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, everything was very cheap.
Was much cheaper. Like we would hear these prices and go, that's unreal.
This is the time period when people literally said, I'll buy that for $1 because that was like a genuine amount of money at the time.
So, speaking of that dollar,
God damn it.
would you like to know how much a vial of Radithor was?
Please tell me it's $1.
It is anywhere from $1 to $2, depending on how much markup that pharmacy decided.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, which is a lot of fucking money. And like,
I mean, a decent amount. Yeah.
I did some conversions between like, today's Monopoly money and the real money from back then.
Yeah.
That is roughly $17.50.
Excellent.
For a single vial of an ounce. It is a 1 ounce vial that did not always have an ounce in it. It had anywhere from a half ounce to like 3/4 of an ounce in it.
Oddly
Insulin?
Though.
Is it giving insulin? Because it's giving insulin to me.
It probably only really works as a scam because of how expensive it is. Like, number one, there's that thing in marketing where if you want people to really like think your product is exclusive, you put a stupidly high price tag on it because everybody with money is kind of dumb. And no, it's not that.
Confirm.
It's that people really like to be in the exclusive club. And so you put a big price tag on it. Yeah, big price.
It also speaks luxury.
Yeah. Because you can make it like bespoke. It's like, it's something the poors don't have,
Well, thankfully, that price tag probably saved a lot of lives.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because you can't do it like every day.
Yeah.
You probably can't do it more than like once a month.
Ooh. So I don't know if any of you know, if any of the rest of you know this, but kickbacks are illegal.
Super illegal.
Now. For very, very, very good reasons, and this may have been part of that. So,
fuck, didn't stop those opioid guys.
Well, no.
Yeah.
The 80s were wild. All right, so let's jump forward a little bit. So in 1927, the man about town, the big wig on the scene, was Mr. Ebenezer Byers, or Eben. Not Evan. Eben. Ebben.
Eben. Is it Byers like Beyer?
Bye.
Bye. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So
it's like we're super rich, so we're like Dutch. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's the rich people of the time. It's
so this guy was into everything. He inherited like a whole steel mill business. He was a like star golf player. He was a super socialite. Like, this man was everywhere. This man was like the big cheese, as it were, at the time. It's 1927.
He's the cat's meow.
And I've seen pictures of him. He was pretty handsome, too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that most of the chicks he pulled were because of his money. But,
well, if you got all three,
he wasn't bad to look at. So, this guy is a big shit, right? And he's traveling via train because that was the classy thing to do. So Mr. Byers goes to bed in his train, and the train either hits a bump or like has to pull a fast off. Whatever it is, the point is he falls off the top bunk and hurts his arm. Not breaks it, but like I'm pretty sure the bone was bruised. Like just reading through his medical thing, the rabbit holes I went down on this one. Mr. Byers gives it a couple days, like waiting for the pain to stop. And when it doesn't, he finally decides to go to the doctor. Guess what?
Radithor.
He goes to one of the doctors who recommends and prescribes him Radithor.
I want you to know that Radithor does sound like the villain from like The Mouse of Baker Street.
It does, doesn't it?
Ratigan. You know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely a name. And it took me a second to figure out how to say it too. Because like, I kept trying to like add another I in there, like turn it into like Radithor for some reason.
Because it sounds better.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. So, said doctor's on the kickback list for Radithor. He prescribes it, and Eben, guy that he is like, okay, if the doctor's prescribing it to me, it's good for me. It's safe. I'm going to take it.
This is why people don't trust medicine sometimes. This kind of shit right here.
And here's the thing. For whatever reason, he's prescribed the 1 vial a day, right?
But he's got money.
But he does have money.
Yeah.
So he starts taking his 1 vial a day, and he decides that, fuck, this shit is working. I don't know how. I have no fucking clue how or why he felt better.
I think probably just time. But like...
Honestly, I think it was psychosomatic.
Yeah.
I think it was placebo effect. It was all in his head.
And then he's young.
Nope.
No?
He's like late 40s, early 50s.
No, it's not super old, but like, yeah, it's not young, but like, God damn it.
I know. I'm right behind you.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, yeah, he's young enough to where his bones are healing because he didn't break it, right? He just
No, it
bruised
wasn't a
real bad?
break. I'm looking at it from a modern perspective, like reading what was left, what I could find of his medical history and charts. I'm pretty sure it was just a bad bruise.
Yeah, if he's moving his arms around, and,
Yeah.
you know, like, and then he's taking a placebo.
Mm.
He's probably feeling great.
Mm.
If there's any real medical effect, it's that his body is fighting what's in it and giving him a little bit from that. But, like, you know what I mean? When people go like, "Oh man, this stuff's really working," but it's really like you're having flu-like symptoms from your shit trying to fight off whatever the fuck you just put in it.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. Like,
That's
especially
nuts.
Considering like what we know about it now.
Oh,
I have no idea how you were feeling anything but sick, bud.
After a week of this, I'm sure he was developing an ulcer.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like that's
so. Let me horrify you just a little bit more. Within a couple of weeks of having like begun his Radithor regimen, Mr. Byer decides that he likes this so much. He feels so great about this, and it's fantastic. It's fixed his libido. It's fixed his arm. He is feeling so much better. Like he's definitely living his foxy grandpa life, which like that was one of his nicknames, by the way.
Foxy Grandpa
Foxy
at 45. God.
Apparently, that came from his college days, simply because he was a golfer.
Okay. Yeah, sure. He dressed like an old man.
Probably.
Yeah,
He was said to be very, very suave.
Yeah.
And like
golf is in the 1920s was definitely like, well, it is now a money game, but like back then it was like almost an aristocrat's thing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it comes from like poor Scottish people.
I know.
But like
so he decides he likes Radithor so much that he goes from his 1 vial a day to 2 vials a day to 3 vials a day.
Dude, wouldn't it be crazy if we could autopsy this guy? Like if we had modern medical charts on this guy and his initial I feel better is because he had like an enlarged prostate and this helped shrink it somehow.
I can't even fathom. I legit, like, it makes no sense to me.
I mean, I imagine if he's taking 3 vials, I know it's not a lot because I don't know how to micro.
It's anywhere from a half ounce to an ounce of the of the fluid itself.
Yeah,
but
we've got to be talking like parts per million in radium.
Let me put this into just a little bit of like comedic perspective for you. You know, bananas are radioactive, right?
Yeah, but you got to eat like fucking crazy amounts of bananas. Like,
well, he's consuming the radioactive equivalent of 25,000 bananas at once.
So close to the amount that it takes to kill you, though, because I think it's like, isn't it like 50,000 bananas?
Oh, wait, no, hang on. I added a 0. It's 2,500, not 25,000.
Okay, I was just like, it's some stupid number of bananas. But like,
it's a lot. It's too much is what it is.
It's a bananas amount.
So I want you to know that bananas conversion thing was where all of the what the fuck math came from.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. Oh, my God. So he's eating. Side note about the bananas thing, I always thought was very funny. If you tried to eat enough bananas to have a trace amount of radiation in your body,
it's insane.
Everything else will get you before the radiation does.
So our boy, Eben Byers, has decided that he loves Radithor so much. He's kind of become like the unofficial spokesperson and poster boy for Radithor. Like, this guy is buying cases and giving them away to his friends.
Oh no.
He's making sure that all of his like lady friends, like his girlfriends that he's chilling with, they're all getting Radithor. He gave it to his racehorse at some point.
The fuck?
This man loves Radithor.
Jesus Christ. And that horse's name was Captain Marvel. Fuck, what the hell? That's so crazy. That's a nuts
I know.
And like, but they think it's great.
This is the time period where they are convinced that radium is harmless. Like, they don't quite understand.
Because nobody's making it in mass amounts, I'm assuming.
Well, you can't. To refine like an ounce of radium, it takes like 25 tons of uranium or something. Like, I watched something about the processing of uranium to get to radium, and it is a lot.
That's wild.
I would imagine that it would have been insanely expensive.
Oh, so I just looked it up. I wanted to know how many bananas it would take to kill you at one time for you to die of radiation, of what they call mycosieverts of radiation.
Mycosieverts, yeah.
50 million bananas at one time.
Yeah.
50 million bananas. Holy crap. So, but he's still eating a dumb amount of fucking... Because that's from potassium. That's not from radium. It's just from the trace amounts of radiation in potassium.
It is a fucking lot.
It's
so much. And like I said earlier, thank God for the price point on it, because that probably saved so many lives because it was so expensive to buy.
That is a nuts price tag for like a couple bottles a shot.
Yeah.
That's like illegal liquor money. And you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Because like I've one of my favorite things in the world is looking up old advertisements.
Oh, I know.
And you're right. Like, to go see a movie that was like brand new. It's a movie.
Literally a nickel.
It's a nickel. It's
literally a nickel.
And you could go,
we're like, even now, like a movie night date is going to cost you $60.
Yeah. If you went even in like the 50s and 60s, there were dime stores.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're in the 20s, a $2 fucking shot is wild.
Yeah. So, okay, let me give a little bit of education about radium itself. So radium hits like a heavy metal, okay? Like, it hits your system and continues to irradiate you until it passes out of your system.
Yeah.
However, did you know that radium sits on the same column on the periodic table as calcium?
Nice.
So that means that your body goes, oh, that's a building block. Let me just keep that.
Cool.
No.
Yeah.
No, in fact, quite the opposite of cool.
Yeah, so it just stays in your body.
That is, oh no.
Surrounded, I guess, by fat at some point.
Well, it seeps into your bones, specifically.
Sweet.
Like, and I wrote it down because, like, I read that and went, oh my God.
So our homeboy's about to get leukemia from taking shots of...
So,
whoa.
I have to quote this because it's what I immediately thought of when I started reading all of this. I instantly had Cave Johnson's voice in my head. And that is a voice from Portal 2 specifically. We haven't quite nailed down what element it is, but let me tell you this: it's a lively one, and it hates the human skeleton.
In a transatlantic accent, I'm sure.
I can't.
Let me tell you this, Sonny.
It's
gonna fucking kill you.
Literally. Cave Johnson is a character, and Portal were both of them were two of the best games I've ever played.
This is crazy. I'm having a hard time even because I know they don't know this.
I know.
But in my head, this is just like somebody saying that like eating paint was good for you, and then you just start fucking
going
every day. Like this is wild to me, and at the same time, this is how these grifts work. Because, like, people today, right now, there is a book that is circulating on the internet.
Oh, no.
That has, like, cures for AIDS in it.
Oh, no.
And they're all, like, plant shit. It's all, like, take turmeric and cinnamon and, like...
Listen, I believe in some of the homeopathic stuff.
Yeah, for, like, a headache.
Mm-hmm. Or for, like, settling a stomach or, like, small things.
Yeah, things that are, like, food reactions.
Or
sleep reactions, that kind of shit. Small stuff. Yeah, like swelling is a good one.
Yeah.
Small amounts of swelling. Like turmeric is good for you for small amounts of swelling.
marshmallows for a sore throat. I know we keep coming back to that one, but
once you get to serious medical shit, time for serious
time for
medical
drugs.
solutions. But that's the crazy thing. It's a fucking doctor giving this shit out.
Yeah. Oh, doctor on a kickback.
On a kickback. Yeah. That's how a lot of fucking things got into the market. The whole country got real fucking happy on benzos for a little while.
So, starting in 1927, our boy Eben started taking 3 bottles of Radithor a day, and did so for 2 years. Now, that is the equivalent of 6 microcuries a day. So, I won't go into how much radiation that is, but it's too damn much.
That's so fucking wild.
I know.
Oh my God.
And in 1930, he was literally forced to stop drinking it because it was causing him he had a host of symptoms.
Yeah, he probably fucking pissing blood every day because his internal lining was shot, and I'm sure he had arthritis at this point if it's fixating in his bones.
So, across 2 years, that was literally 1,400 doses of this. You're holding your phone up like you got something to say.
I'm looking. I just want to know.
Are you translating the microcuries because it's difficult?
Yeah, because it's not a physical size; it's the amount of decay. So it's the evidence of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God,
you see why I agonized over the math about this yesterday?
How many microcuries?
6 a day.
So 6 a day. My God, that's so crazy. I'm just gonna put in how much radium does it take to
give you instant cancer?
How much radium does it take to leave 1 microcurie? I'm so because
we're live Google and go.
It's crazy because you're telling me this and I'm going, this is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, because to me, it's like if somebody told you that cadmium was good for you and then you were taking trace amounts of cadmium every day. That's because I've watched footage of people who've died of radiation poisoning. It's bad. Yeah. Granted, that's mass load. That's you walked in front of a fucking thing you shouldn't be in front of. But I know, you know what I mean? Because I've seen the Radium Girls pictures and I'm yikes.
How?
Yeah, how are you feeling after years?
2 years of it. 2 years at above prescribed dosage.
It's a super or 1 microgram. To produce 1 microcurie of radium 226, you need approximately 10 to the negative 6 power grams or 1 microgram of pure radium.
It's minuscule.
It's minuscule, but we don't know the dilution that he used. Well, he said how many was supposed to be in an ounce? 2 microcuries. So 2 micrograms.
So it was 1 radium 226 and 1 radium 228 specifically. And he challenged anyone to prove that he didn't have that in his product. Because he did. He did. He was selling death in a bottle.
He damn sure was, because I'm looking at a thing about the units.
Mm-hmm.
A sample of cobalt-60 emits 1 microcurie of radioactivity. That's so goddamn crazy. Because it's not going to leave his system, and he's doing triple the amount every day.
Every day for 2 years. Until suddenly until his symptoms basically got so bad he had to admit, he had to stop. Basically everything here. Let me get into this really quick so I can explain to you how bad this was. So at the same time, in parallel time, the radium girls thing is happening. That story is beginning to break. All of the women that are working in the factory with the glowing paint and stuff are not only presenting symptoms, but are coming forward with a lawyer whose name I have completely forgotten, and I could go to the front of my notebook and read off all of the Radium Girls thing because that's in this same notebook. All of that is happening at the same time, and it's enough that the Federal Trade can read my own handwriting.
FTC.
Yep, the FTC has basically stood up and gone, okay, something's wrong. something's wrong because we have all of these factory workers that are having the exact same symptoms, and we can't keep calling it syphilis because they now they have lawyered the fuck up. Which, by the way, they did initially try to pass off all of the like the bone melting and shit.
Yeah.
That
Just
people were
like
having as syphilis.
phosphajaw. Exactly what happened there. That's what when I watched spoilers for Enola Holmes. When I watched Enola Holmes, by the end of it, I'd figured out what was going on because I was like, I know these systems. This happened in real life. Yeah, like that's.
What was it? We were watching something last night, and I diagnosed it from. We were fucking watching Scrubs. We were watching Scrubs, and one of the patient characters who's supposed to help the interns through. It's the new season of Scrubs.
Yeah,
comes through with with a list of symptoms, and he has scurvy.
Damn.
10 minutes later, you have scurvy. Boom. Someone give me my diploma. Anyway.
Yep.
So, the FTC has not only started noticing the news coverage from the Radium Girls, they're also getting independent reports and complaints, and people are getting sick from various products that have radium in them.
Oof.
So they decided, what better kind of let's go to the poster boy for Radithor, someone who is and has been taking a radium product for years and been loud about it, about how wonderful it is, how great it is. Let's go check in with Mr. Byers. So they sent an agent to Byers' seaside mansion where he had quietly retired
at the age of 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
51, I think. And when they get there, it ain't pretty. The lawyer will go on record as saying Mr. Byers' upper jaw and most of his lower jaw, excepting 2 front teeth, had been removed, with all remaining bone tissue of his body disintegrating. There were even holes forming in his skull. He appeared to be the living dead.
Whoa. Holy shit.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, radium melts your fucking bones. It gets into you, and once it's gotten that deep, it just sits and burrows and burns and just disintegrates.
As it debinds the calcium from your bones.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. And it basically, so there are no images of Eben Bayer online other after all of this has gone down. There is one that got viral, but it's not him. It's from a random soldier in World War I. I do not recommend you look it up because it's kind of horrifying. And it's gruesome. But it's not him. I know because I looked and I dug. Dog with a bone.
Yeah. Oh, not this bone.
No, not those squishy, spongy bones.
Yeah. Yikes.
So yeah, the lawyer confirms that this is from radium. Eben Bayer, poster boy for Radithor, has all of the same symptoms as the factory workers. I think it was Philadelphia. I think is where the factory was.
I don't remember.
I believe it was. But it's undeniable proof at this point. And virtually overnight, because of the celebrity that Eben Bayer was. He was very, very, very famous, very popular, who had quietly retired from the public view, presumably because he was starting to feel the effects of the radium itself and wasn't feeling good, retired essentially. And then lo and fucking behold, he's a gaping hole where his mouth used to be.
That's crazy.
It's insane, right? But thanks to the FTC and Eben Byers being yeah, please come interview me for this. radium is virtually overnight swept off the shelves.
Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine living in a society where you have been told over and over for years now that this element, this fun, glowing little thing that has been added to everything from the water you drink to the toothpaste, your hair cream, cosmetics, they all promised you, these industries, the media promised you that it was safe, it was harmless, it was good for you, has now been completely wiped off the market.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
Mm.
Talcum powder.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up. We used to get it in like Christmas socks and shit. Like they would give you like the little, like, if you're a dude, right? You used to get like a cologne.
Mm-hmm.
It's Satsuma orange. I don't know. But
delicious, but I never understood it either.
It's apparently it's a British thing. They do that. But like, I don't know. It made it into our family somehow. But we got some, like some chocolate coins.
Yeah.
My grandmother grew up in Polish Chicago, so it's a little bit of that. And and you would get like a little thing of like deodorant or talcum powder because it's like, you stink. You're a teenage boy, you stink.
Yeah.
So you put it in your shoes, and then I remember being in my like 30s and someone going like, "Oh yeah, it causes like cancer."
Yeah.
Specifically in women.
It's a carcinogen.
Yeah, and because of open orifices, people were getting like vaginal cancers from it, and I was like ovarian cancer from it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like that.
Yeah.
That was such a shock. And then my more sciencey friends being like, "That can't be real. This sounds like a frivolous lawsuit," and I'm going like, "No, they've known about it for years."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
which is exactly what
on?
happened with the Radium Girls. Like the people that produced it, like the people that were not in the clock painting section of things, were handling it correctly. They were using gloves, tongs, safety gear, and then they were handing it off to these women who had no idea, who they had straight up lied to and told them it's perfectly safe. Now point the brush between your lips and your teeth and ingest these micro doses of radiation.
Yeah, of enough radiation to be visible to the outside.
And the worst part of it is they thought it was so safe. I'm sorry, I've jumped topics because I was very passionate about the Radium Girls thing, because once again, the Radium Girls is how we got OSHA. They would paint their nails and their teeth with it and then go out on the town and have fun. Because being a factory worker, like being one of the painters, was like the it girl job at the time.
I remember seeing ads that it was like, there's a reason they called them the Radium Girls. They were called that before the tragedy. Mm-hmm. Because it was just like,
they were called like the Shining Girls or something like that.
It was a little bit like being the modern day equivalent in like industry standards, I would say, is like Korea Air, their flight attendants, or the ones from United Emirates.
Yeah, it was the it job.
Yeah, it's like
it was the one that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And like, and if I recall correctly, their pay was pretty good too.
It was higher than a lot of standards.
Yeah.
When you see pictures of them, they're working in a very clean factory.
Yeah, like they're not the pictures that I have seen. Like, and of course there are going to be horror stories everywhere about every job.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes. Not all places are the same. But it was a sought after position.
Yeah,
and then, as these women began to fall ill from the radium eating away at their bones and causing tumors, they were initially sending them to company doctors who were passing it off as syphilis.
Yeah.
That's
also why you never go to the fucking company doctor.
Which damaged their reputations as people, as women, specifically. Like, it labeled them as loose women. So that's their credibility down the drain already. Which, first of all, fuck society for that.
Yeah.
And then it and the worst part of it is the company knew that it was a poisonous, a deadly substance. They lied and they covered it up.
The god of the corporation is the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, That's what it is. Like anything for a profit. And how it works. This is why like I hate the like owner class.
Mm-hmm.
And I get very, very upset about like factory owners that pull shit like this, because everyone else, the way that this kind of shit happens is that they're all afraid to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
So they're held in this kind of like debt bondage
Mm-hmm.
over this, because they will keep passing the buck. People can justify a lot of shit if they're going to lose their whole livelihood for standing up. The buck stops with someone.
Yep.
Someone made the decision to start that chain. And that person, all those deaths.
Yep.
Everybody else is still culpable. They're still an accessory to the crime. That motherfucker's a mass murderer.
Yeah. It's disgusting how like.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to like scream. Katie's making strangling motions in the air.
And like pained faces, because like once again, this is not the first time that I have covered this era and this particular element. I did a whole section on the Radium Girls, and it was one of my most like researched TikTok series, I guess, because I think I did it in 3 parts.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot. But just the fact that people lied about the safety of radium, and it took 112 women dying and 1 celebrity.
Yeah. Fame.
Which, by the way, Eben would, like, 3 months after the interview and after all of this, like, after the ball got rolling when the FTC got involved and was like, oh, shit. Yeah, no, okay, this is bad. Fix this. Eben died at 51. Like, I think it was March 31st. I'm pretty sure. Yes, March 31st, 1932. He finally died.
That's so great. Like, yeah, from semi-pro athlete to dead in a matter of years.
To spongy radioactive bones, dead. And his autopsy, by the way, his autopsy notes, the New York Times ran them. Like, published them.
Well, that's one way to get it made illegal.
And his autopsy notes, like, his cause of death was listed as radium poisoning. Overnight.
Yeah.
The entire radium industry shut down.
Can I tell you a crazy story?
Please.
So, do you remember that kid that made a nuclear reactor in his backyard?
It's funny that guy has come up so often lately. And my partner and I were talking about him literally last night.
So he was looking for a great deal of radium because that's the thing that he could obtain.
Smoke detectors, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Small amounts of thorium and radium. And so, like, he was looking for a lot of, like, junked smoke detectors.
Mm-hmm.
And he built a rad detector on the front of his car, and he would drive around to antique stores and listen for the ticking because he was looking for radium glass. Or is it radium glass? It's irradiated like the glowing green. Mm-hmm. He was looking for that, and he was also looking for radium dials because he was looking for clocks with radium. He was going to strip it off. He went and he found some clocks that ticked. And one of them he brought home. And when he opened up the face, the person who had been painting the dials left a jar of it inside. There was a jar of radium that was in someone's house for like
100 years.
Yeah.
Well, that happened in just under 100 years because that happened in like 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, and like glowing dials are still a thing, but it's not radium anymore. It's it's like a phosphorus thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he found a little painter's vial where somebody was touching the clock up, and it was on the shelf. You know, when you open a clock, there's like a little shelf in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
he found an entire vial of radium paint.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's so radioactive.
He was just driving around, and his Geiger counter just started going like, is it Geiger? Yeah.
Yes, you are correct.
Started just going fucking insane, and then he pulled over, and that's where he got a lot of his stuff from in his early attempts. And
that's crazy.
It is pretty wild. It's nuts that it takes a whole factory of women can die, and they're able to cover it up. But it is true.
Well, they didn't cover it up like that. That press coverage went very, very, very live and turned like half the nation on them.
Yeah,
because they lawyered up. They had proof. They had the original report about the radium paint and its handling and like just how generally like caustic it was. They had the original report compared to the one that had been officially published, and they were very, very different.
Mm.
And they tracked down the independent people that went in to do said report, like the scientists. They tracked them down and got them in as witnesses. Like, so there was in fact a reckoning that happened with this. Like, it blew very, 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 very open, very wide, and very public, because like one woman stood up and said, "No."
Good. Fuck those guys.
But like radium getting pulled off the shelf, like that report all came from Evan.
Wild.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that our boy Bill Bailey never saw any sort of conviction or jail time for this at all. Like,
because it wasn't illegal when he did it.
He got his factory shut down and that was it. However, he did ironically die of bladder cancer in 1949.
Please tell me it was from drinking his own bullshit.
And 20 years later, when he was exhumed, and I quote, his bones had been ravaged by the radiation.
Maybe just being in the factory.
Well, no, he was also partaking of it. According to him, he said,
man.
and I quote, I have drunk more Radithor than any living person on this planet.
Yeah, because there's only like so many people that have enough money to take it constantly. But
and clearly he was only drinking the 1 vial a day as opposed to Evan's 3 vials a day. Which, by the way, speaking of Evan, when he died, was buried in a lead-lined casket.
So he would leach into the groundwater?
Correct.
Oh my God.
And Evan was also exhumed 20 years later. And his bones were still hot at that point. And like I had to look it up because at first I was like, so what? He was like actually hot? No,
he's just ticking on the counter.
He was radioactive 50 times the normal amount of just like natural radiation in the human body.
God, shit.
And if you ever see Radithor like in an antique shop, you're just nosing around and you see a little tiny, about the size of your thumb vial that says Radithor on it, don't touch it. Don't buy it. Absolutely the fuck not. Because that bottle, that cork, that label, that whole thing is still radioactive to this day.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the half-life is probably hundreds of years.
Do not touch it. Do not touch it.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Radithor.
Jesus Christ. It did sound like a supervillain, and it was.
Literally.
Yeah. Dude. I'm having such a hard, like...
I know. The fact that people were just consuming radium for fun, knowing what we know now. Do you know that Madame Curie, her husband, one of her daughters, all died from leukemia?
I imagine so.
From exposure.
Yeah, because she was like fucking pioneering radioactivity.
Yeah, I mean...
Like kitchen and shit.
Props to her. Like, absolutely, what's the word? Canonize her because she deserves it.
Yeah.
She was...
I mean, doing amazing things, but it cost her, well,
everything.
Not an arm and a leg, but like,
her whole life. Like, I believe she died of leukemia.
She had lost like fingers by the end of it. Like,
yeah, like it was gnarly. And one of her daughters had something blow up in her face that was radioactive and also died of leukemia. So did her husband. Like, only one of her daughters made it out of that alive, and that was because she did something entirely else. She was like, no, I have no interest in science. Bye.
Damn.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Radithor.
One of the OG energy drinks.
Dude, that's what I think. I'm going to start, every time I hear Nuka-Cola, I now will know exactly what it would do to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Melts your bones.
Melts your bones. That's how the ghouls happened, maybe.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, god damn.
It's a gnarly way to go, too. Like, I was already familiar with this because, like I said, I covered the Radium Girls, and that particular story is near and dear to my heart because, like, it broke my heart.
Yeah.
Like, reading all of that. Like, there were women as young as 13 working in that factory. There were children working in that factory.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Maybe coming back.
Absolutely not.
So I come from a family that is very, very affected by the opioid crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And people fought real hard, and some of them made it out. And That is a thing that 100% started because a very wealthy family put something out that they knew was going to cause a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And there were almost certainly a lot of paid off people.
Oh, yeah. And it's a very similar situation.
Yeah.
Like, people that produced this product knew that it was dangerous and still sold it anyway. And I'm not sure if Mr. Bailey knew that he was selling something that dangerous. I don't know if he was as in-depth into the production or as knowledgeable. Probably not. I would hope not. But
probably not, because like the pharmaceutical, like the amount of shit that was like, this has got volcanic ash in it. Yeah, like the amount of shit like that existed between like 1860 and like 1940.
Yeah.
And I say that because it's like just before, you know what I mean?
This is the period of you have ghosts in your blood, do cocaine about it.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of new science that's like emerging in this time period. And a lot of stuff that's not quite science.
The radium, Madame Curie was what, 1849 was when she discovered everything. So it's not been long.
No, it's like 60 years.
Yeah.
From
it's still relatively new. So they could almost be excused for not knowing better. But the fact is that running parallel to this, like all of this happening between 1920 something and 1930, all of this running parallel to it is the stuff coming out of, I want to say it's Philadelphia, is where the U.S. Radium
New
Corporation.
Jersey.
Oh, okay.
New Jersey. Everything's legal in New Jersey. Oh man, the Radium Dial Company in Illinois was was the parent company.
Yeah, it was nuts. And these two stories were running parallel to each other is the thing. It's nuts, right? And it's infuriating that all of these people made themselves so sick because people lied.
Yep.
And told them it was good for them.
You know what? Another crazy scam artist that has done a lot of shit that's probably made a couple of people sick. It's probably not killed anyone. And I think with the kind of deregulation of a lot of things here in America, eventually you're going to start seeing some of these, like, you know, we talked about in a previous episode, like what's the next like fountain of youth thing?
Oh yeah,
and all these designer peptides and shit, and CRISPR stuff, and all that other kind of stuff. Somebody's going to get hurt before it's all over with, but. Designer steroids, all that kind of shit. Someone's going to get fucked up. But it reminds me of the Liver King a little bit. Liver King is like a microcosm of this kind of shit. Do you remember the Liver King? He was this guy that did like, I have simulated hunts and I sleep on a bed of furs because I'm trying to be a caveman in the modern era. And he had like fake abs and like did a bunch of steroids and shit. So he ran this like YouTube thing where his whole thing was that he was like, be like a caveman. It's how you get your masculinity back or whatever. And he would sell you free like cold boxes that come in the mail. That
cold boxes?
Yeah, you know, like you order steaks.
Oh, okay.
Like the Swan truck or whatever.
Like the grocery stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. HelloFresh, that kind of shit comes in like in cold packs. So he would send you beef liver, right? And you would eat the fuck out of beef liver and be just like the Liver King and work out and do these simulated hunts and shit. He would like run through his backyard and throw a spear.
Wouldn't that give you like if you were consuming that much liver, wouldn't you literally overdose on vitamin A?
You would. Yes.
Like that's toxic.
That's exactly what people pointed out.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes. Kudos to you because yes. Liver has a lot of vitamin A in it, and you cannot eat it every day.
No.
You will get sick.
You will get violently ill.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not super deadly. You can pass it pretty quickly.
I feel like I can't claim full credit for that. I keep getting these ads for these Primal Queen supplements. That's supposed to be like various beef organs and whatnot that are supposed to like fix your hormonal stuff. And I looked into it, and I saw that it had a whole bunch of like liver listed in it. I was like, that's ringing a bell for me for some reason. Hang on. This is linking something back to my past. Like my childhood when my grandmother would only make liver and onions like once a month.
Yes, because you literally can't eat it all the time.
You can OD on vitamin A.
And then also just in general, a lot of the reason here in America why these supplement companies don't have to fucking,
it's because largely they're unregulated.
they are completely unregulated.
Yeah, like you can claim shit all day long, but the fact that you don't have that FDA seal of approval means something.
Yeah. On the back, if it says supplement, it is not fully regulated by the FDA. I say fully regulated because there are banned substances here in America, right? Like nobody can sell you coca leaf as a substance, like as a supplement. They can't do it because that's a banned. The FTC and the FDA and the Port Authority and everybody says, and the FBI says, if you have it, you're going to be in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. So in the 80s, with the Reagan administration and a couple other guys too, it's been an ongoing thing. There was a big push to regulate over-the-counter supplements because some of them are quite dangerous. Mm-hmm. You can't take a lot of them. Right, and if it's considered medicine, it's regulated. So, like NyQuil, regulated. However,
pseudoephedrine, regulated.
If you're a supplement,
regulated and controlled.
There was a big thing about like home health and all this kind of stuff, and some like right winger types really pushed not regulating your supplements. You know who the guy on the front of all these commercials, the PSAs that reached out to you about like, hey, call your congressman, have them not regulate. Your health should be your priority. Those kind of thing. Mel fucking Gibson.
No.
He was a major movie star at the time.
Yeah, I know. And then he went off the deep end.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think he has anything really to do with that. I think he was just a paid spokesperson.
Yeah.
But, like, that was the thing in the 80s. And so it got very popular, hugely popular. People called in. That bill to regulate supplements failed phenomenally. It was not even close. A lot of people did not want their supplements regulated. Never mind that most people were not taking supplements at that time.
Or that you could potentially off yourself.
Yeah, because we're not talking about, like, people don't really understand this. That, like, I'm not talking about fucking Centrum Silver.
No.
If you go to a large pharmacy that has a huge supplement area, like one of these old school pharmacies, and then like walk around a health food store, prime example. There is tons of that shit that is just griftery bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
It does nothing for you. Like you've mentioned colloidal silver many times.
Colloidal silver gets on my goddamn nerves.
Yeah.
I had an uncle that, I've told this story to you 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But like, he was convinced that it was going to help my mother.
And so like, yeah, there's all those fucking things, right?
Yeah.
None of these things do anything for autism. Not a goddamn thing. I have to mention that. Like, it's bonkers, but like that's where we are, right? So when we bounce back to things like radium and shit, it's not hard to see how like before any of these laws existed and before they really knew what they were doing, but like this is why things like the FDA exist.
Yeah.
The FDA was largely put in place over milk sickness.
Yes. Okay. I'm so mad because, like, I want you to know that swill milk was my original subject.
Oh, was it really?
Yes.
Is that how you bounced? Because you went, because FDA is kind of like adjacent to what the FTC does?
Like, I spent a couple of days looking up swill milk and, like, all of the shit that they did to it to, like, make it palatable and sellable.
Uh-huh.
And all of the people that got sick.
Super sick from fucking bacteria that will 100% kill you.
Yeah.
Listeria.
That's it. Let me tell you. Let me traumatize you about it. I'll at least make you laugh in the middle.
Yeah. But raw milk, Katie.
Oh,
raw milk.
My God. Don't get me started on
it's
that
sweet.
again.
I've actually had raw milk.
I have too.
It's sweet. It's really good. However, you can, right now, if you really want sweet orange milk, you can get that shit in fucking Fruity Pebbles.
Yep.
Whey protein.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
It's fat and whey. That's what makes it special.
10 out of 10 recommend Rise Protein.
Yeah. Put a little collagen shot in there if you really want to.
Yep.
You can recreate that shit in a glass in your house.
And it's so much safer. So much safer.
We went crazy off topic, but also like kind of on topic.
It falls into like FTC and FDA regulation because that's a lot of what happened here. The FDA is like literally what cracked down on this and put a stop to it and probably saved millions of lives.
Yeah.
Bro, science was the Wild West for a hot second.
The amount of shit people got away with.
Do you remember a few years ago there was a trend where like everything was like pitch midnight black?
Yeah, water. You could get charcoal water.
There was charcoal ice cream. We went to the Color Factory, which is a great big like art exhibit museum interactive thing, and at the end of it they had charcoal ice cream. Yeah. And I'm on so many goddamn prescriptions. I can't eat that.
Right. It will fuck your
because it binds to things.
Yep. It's carbon. That's what carbon does.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Yeah. All that shit is just like, that's something that I'm sure has killed people.
Activated charcoal?
Because it was in water and all kinds of shit. And like, it's the thing is, if you die from that, you won't die from the charcoal. The charcoal's not going to really do anything to you. What it will do is that you have somebody who's like taking a medication to prevent something, like maybe a heart medication or something. It lowers
It's weird
the
that you went there because I like the drug name that popped into my head was atorvastatin.
Yeah. Fuck, whatever the symptom was that led to them having a heart attack.
It's because they ingested a whole bunch of charcoal that basically pulled all of that medication out of your system.
Yeah, they pissed it out.
Yeah, and it's then part of one of the reasons that they warn women specifically when you're on antibiotics and birth control have a secondary form of contraceptive.
Because you take the wrong thing.
Yeah, charcoal binds it out. Most of the antibiotics will cancel out your birth control. By the way, in case you didn't know that.
Jeez Christ. Ironically, the thing that is meant to kill alien life in your body makes it easier to put alien life in your body.
All right, so I'm going to cut us off here because we will, in fact, just ramble.
Yeah.
So y'all have fun. Thank you for joining us on this odd episode of Morbid Mondays. And remember, don't add to the population or take from it.
Yeah. My brain's going to be racing thinking of all the other things that have probably killed a bunch of people.
I know.
Like unregulated
anything anything in a Victorian home.
Oh shit, yeah.
Especially like the original
all the arsenic
and heated bathtubs. Don't fall asleep in that bathtub. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. Ooh, that'll be fun. All right, we're done. Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey, this is Brian from Morbid Mondays. If you like the show, please consider stopping by at our Ko-fi account. That's ko-fi/Morbid Mondays. It's $1 a month or just any one-time tip. And if you would like to help us fund our future endeavors or just want to show a little bit of appreciation, awesome. Thank you so much for listening. And if you don't. Whatever. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening.